Hey guys, it's Jessica with Just Fab with Jess. Thanks for joining us. Today we have a very special guest via technology because we can't ever get together because she lives on the other side of the world. Actually, she just lives in a different part of Texas, but we all know Texas is huge. But her name is Maggie Lavelle, and she is just one of my dearest friends. Um, Her story is amazing. You may want to get a box of tissues, but just the strength and what God has done in her life is so beautiful not to share. Um, so please join us here in her story. There's so much to share. Let's just jump right into your story. Wherever you want to begin, we want to hear it.
Um, okay, so my husband and I started to try to have a family, and I got pregnant pretty fast. And a couple months later, or not even a couple months later, um, we went to the doctor and we discovered that the baby's heart was no longer beating, and I had a miscarriage because of that. And it was a horrible time. I thought it could be the worst thing that ever happened to me. And then a couple months later, it felt like forever. I got pregnant again with Lucy. We were all so happy. And so the pregnancy went perfect. Everything was awesome. I didn't have morning sickness. Everything, I just felt great the whole time. And so we lived in Austin at the time. I was going to beauty school. And I was traveling back and forth back home because we were moving back home after I graduated. And I was 9 months pregnant, and it was my sister's graduation weekend from high school. And I went down there to, get our house ready, hang out with her, celebrate her graduation. And we were going to drive back to Austin one morning to have our last doctor's appointment, and then I was going to be induced. And I don't really remember a whole lot. I
Yeah.
kind of remember the graduation weekend, like her party and stuff, but all the other stuff people have told me, and I kind of remember it, and then I kind of don't.
Right.
So we that the morning that we were leaving, um, we had, of course, it was really early in the morning, so we had, snoozed our alarm a couple times, and then we got up and got ready, and we were on my mom's road. She lives on a county road, and we turned off of her road to the main road, and my husband saw a truck driving in the other lane, jumping culverts, hitting mailboxes and everything. So my husband did what he thought was best and pulled over to the side of the road, waiting for him to pass, and then we were going to go on. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. Um, I don't really know how it all happened. I don't know any details. Um, I think he overcorrected and hit passenger to passenger, and
Mm.
I was a passenger, and it was not pretty at all.
Mm.
I It was a really horrible wreck. Um, I broke. My husband told me that he looked over at me and I was like groaning and stuff, and he knew I was in pain, and so the ambulance came and they started immediately working on Caleb because they thought I was gone, so they weren't even going to worry about working with me. And so Caleb was like, "No, she's alive still. Work on her. Don't even worry about me." In the accident, somehow, I don't know what it is, the airbag or what it was, but my uterus ruptured. And what I've heard is that most people that are in the hospital and their uterus ruptured, they don't make it. So that's just crazy to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it really makes me believe that I'm still here for a reason,
Yeah.
and to spread my story to spread the word of God
Yes.
to and so so the ambulance came whenever we had our wreck, and they did like a ultrasound or like a fetal Doppler to check her heartbeat, and her heartbeat was still strong and stuff. So somewhere in between the accident and getting life flighted to Houston, she passed. And so they, I don't know, I'm guessing I had a C-section first.
Yeah.
And then all my family, Caleb, was able to be with her for probably about a day. I mean, not a full day, but a couple hours. Um, but yeah, so fast forward about a month, and I was in the rehabilitation hospital, and I still had no idea I was ever pregnant. I was still learning that Caleb was my husband. Um, it was just so crazy. Like I thought I was in like 2005. Like I thought I was still watching. Like I still thought Hey Arnold and Boy Meets World and That's So Raven were cool shows that I watched.
Wow.
And that Caleb and I were just dating, and that I had a bunch of friends and stuff. When I was younger, that I thought were my friends still, like that I still hung out with and stuff. And so I would be like, oh, I miss so and so, and they're like, you haven't seen her in years. Um, so it's just so crazy how your brain just goes back to just certain times in your life when
Right.
you do have a brain injury and what you do remember. Because like I knew my mom, I knew who she was, and I knew all
Wow.
I knew all my family and stuff, but I had no idea who Caleb and his family were.
Wow.
I just had to relearn that. I couldn't remember things from day to day. I couldn't remember what I did that morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I mean, it's honest. It's a true testament to the healing powers of God.
Yeah.
Because they said that I might never be normal.
Mm.
And I mean, I'm kind of weird, but I think I'm pretty normal.
Aren't we all weird?
But I just want people to know that when you are in the worst position in your life, like the worst part in your life,
Come on.
that God still has such a beautiful plan for your life.
Yeah.
And it may not be the way you pictured it, because never in a million years did I picture this how my life would turn out. And I thought I would have kids, raise them, let them go to school, have some extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
Then get older, graduate, be done.
Yeah.
I always dreamed of that. And so now it's like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
It's just, it's crazy that the plans you have for your life aren't going to be the plans, really.
It's so crazy. Just to think that you're 9 months pregnant, you're going to the hospital to have your baby, and just personally, like walking through this story with you when I got pregnant with Jazzy, there was so much fear of having to walk through what you walked through. But even watching you walk through it was so beautiful and so amazing, and so like it built my faith so much that I knew I would get through whatever I was faced because of what you faced.
Right.
And all that to be said is you faced the unthinkable. Like, you said when you had the miscarriage, you thought that was the worst thing you would go through. Mm-hmm. And then, looking through your Instagram and seeing you washed her clothes, you had her baby room ready, you had all these things, that normal, everyday things we do. And then you hit the unthinkable. Mm-hmm. The biggest tragedy that I think someone could go through, you went through. But what's so beautiful is you didn't know you went through it. Your husband had to go through it, but he was by your side 100%, supporting you. Tell me about the decision they had when they were going to tell you that you were pregnant. Like, what does that decision look like as your family?
So my sister and I were pregnant. She was due a month after me. So while I was in the rehabilitation hospital, she went into labor and had her son. And I couldn't go, obviously. So I was like, can you bring him, please? Please bring him. And she brought him up there. And little did I know that Caleb tells me now, he's like, I did not want her to bring him up there. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to deal with a newborn after I just lost my daughter.
Right.
And now I hear that and I'm like, I wish I would have known.
Yeah.
And but I mean, God just gave us grace through it. But I remember as I was holding Liam, I I have stretch marks. I have a huge scar on my stomach. I knew something wasn't right.
Yeah.
I knew something was missing. And as I was holding Liam, I was looking down at him, and I looked up to my family, and I said, "Was I pregnant?" And they couldn't tell me yet.
No.
They didn't want to tell me. They didn't want to tell me, and me not want to get better.
Right.
And so they just told me, you just had a lot of internal bleeding. They had to do emergency surgery and stuff. So obviously I believe that.
Yeah.
And not that my family lied to me because of anything. It was just that they were trying to protect me.
I remember them saying you weren't strong enough to handle it at that moment. So I thought that was wise of your family.
Right. And so as my memory started like picking up and I started remembering things and stuff, my neuro doctor had a meeting with my family, and he was like, "You have to tell her now."
Yeah.
And so Caleb was there, and so I think they said, "Okay, we'll tell her tomorrow." So they had planned to tell me the next day, and so they had Caleb's parents, my parents, Caleb there, and I knew something was. It was very serious, and he began to tell me that I was pregnant, and he said, "Do you remember her name?" And instantly, I knew Lucy Kate. That's her name. Like, it's just so crazy that I didn't really remember being pregnant, but I instantly remembered her name.
Wow.
And whenever he told me, I don't remember. Like now, if you'd have told me in my right mind, I would have been a mess.
Yeah.
And I think that the grace of God just covered me there.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's okay. And then they told me that you had a hysterectomy because of your bleeding. And obviously I knew what that meant. I was never able to have kids myself again. And so I remember thinking like, okay, we'll just adopt. We'll just do that. And so while I was in the hospital, I remember I was saying, we'll have 4 babies, our babies, and we'll have 4 babies. We'll adopt 4 babies. And I don't know why that was stuck in my head, but I was like, that's okay. This will be okay. But now it's still okay because God gives us grace, and He's given us so much grace throughout this whole journey, and we're just waiting for what's next.
Yeah. Just living day by day.
Right. I'm such a planner.
Yeah.
I like to know what's going to happen. I like to know what's going to happen with my life and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just resting in God and not trying to plan out what we're going to do and how we're going to have a family and stuff. I'm just leaving it completely up to God.
And as that helps you, that's what you have to do day by day to get through.
Oh, yes. Because, I mean, I just get overwhelmed, and whenever I try to handle it myself, and it wasn't until the beginning of the year, that's when I finally was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't try to plan this because everything I plan doesn't work.
And try to figure it out, yeah.
Right, and so I'm like, I'm just going to give this to you, and you can handle it. You handle it way better than I could.
Wow. Wow. So you've been a Christ follower your whole life pretty much, right?
Yes. Yeah, I grew up in church.
Okay. Tell me about the moments where, you follow Christ your whole life. Like you give your life to Him. You meet this man, you give your life to Him, whatever. And then tell me the moments now that you look back and you're angry and you're frustrated, and those times where you're just like, the whys. I mean, because we all have them in our situations,
No,
and
of course, yeah. I I don't have a whole lot of times where I'm angry.
yeah,
It is mostly just a question of why this had to happen to us.
right,
And whenever I get in those positions and ask, why did this have to happen? Why couldn't this have had to happen to someone else? Like, why does
right,
this have to happen at all?
right,
And I'm reminded every time that, God just speaks to me. He's like, you don't know the plans that I have for you. And you don't know the outcome of your life and your story. And that gets me so excited because this is a tragic thing to walk through, and I just can't imagine how amazing our story will be at the end of this,
yeah,
and how many lives it'll touch, because I know that it's going to be so powerful. I mean, it already is powerful,
yeah,
but when we do have a family and we're able to tell our kids about this and stuff, and it's like, although I am missing a huge piece of my heart,
right.
God has taken over, and my heart's still broken, but I have hope in
Right,
Jesus, and I have hope in our future and
right.
our family, and I know that we're going to have a beautiful, beautiful family one day.
That's crazy. So, in the scripture, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and he rescues those whose spirits are crushed. Psalms 34:18. Um, what are some of the moments God has been so like, has there been any moments that stand out to you where you see God so perfectly close to your broken heart, if that makes sense? Like,
No, of course. I know that before I was even told about Lucy or anything, and then when I was still in the CQ and laying in the bed, I know that God was right there in the room with us. Because I mean, I wouldn't have come out of it like I have
right.
without God being
You wouldn't even be
in the
alive.
midst of it. Um, I I know other people who have lost kids and who have lost miscarriages or early infant death or however, and they don't have Jesus, and it's so sad, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad that I have a relationship with God, and I know where my hope is coming from, and where my hope is, because if I didn't have God and my daughter died, I wouldn't want to live anymore.
Right.
I can't imagine how people would ever go through this and not have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
That's just so crazy to me, and I'm so thankful that I was raised knowing Jesus and going to church and having a relationship with God
Before this happened.
right. And I want to touch on before this happened, I had a relationship with God, and but it was kind of like sometimes I did and sometimes I didn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I did and sometimes I didn't. And throughout all of this since the accident, I have had so many people tell me, you've really touched my life. You're such an inspiration. And I I don't want to be, what's the word to say? I want God to be known and glorified before anybody thinks I'm some awesome person.
Right.
Because this is God shining through me and
Yes.
using me. And but since the accident, my relationship with God has just drastically changed, and it's so much more and so much more intimate than what it was before.
Wow.
And I just it's just so much easier. I mean, especially now that I'm an adult,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to have this with God and not care what people think.
Yeah.
And especially because when I was in high school, I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be popular.
Right. Exactly.
That's not, being a Christian isn't really cool and popular.
Exactly.
So definitely since the accident, I have grown closer to God,
Yeah.
and it's been amazing. And I'm so thankful of how gracious he is and how loving and understanding, and that he mends my broken heart. And it's just, I just think about whenever, in the weeks and months after the accident, I was distraught. I was
Yeah.
heartbroken. I'm like, I will never have a family.
Yeah.
And it's just so amazing to watch just God transform my heart and my attitude towards things.
Wow.
And I love being a part of it.
He's just taking you on this path of healing and journey, and not that you'll ever be healed, but every day it's a little piece of healing and a little piece of a better attitude and your thought process. And
yes, because there's some days that it's awful. Like,
yeah.
I remember when we before we moved in our rented house that we had with Lucy's room, there would be days that I would just go in there and cry and cry and cry. And it's just, and there are still some days that I just can't stop crying.
Yeah.
But it gets so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And there's hope for the people that, whatever causes your hopelessness, there's hope in Jesus. And you will find so much in Jesus. And he's just healed my heart so much. And but I don't want to say that I don't cry, and I'm not healed completely, and I don't want to be healed completely, because then I would feel like I wouldn't miss Lucy anymore.
Wow.
And it's crazy to think that, like, you can miss someone that you never met. But I mean, I guess that's a relationship that moms have with their babies.
Yeah.
And
so you talk about hope and how no matter what causes our hopelessness, God is there for us. What part do we play in God being there for us and allowing Him to come in?
I wrote down this quote, and I didn't even know I was going to say this, but where is it? It is up to us to continually allow our hearts to be molded by God. And I think that you just have to open yourself up to being used by God. And that's where the hope comes from. That's where being molded by God and being polished and being made whole in God, you just have to open yourself up and obey, have a relationship with Him. And that took a lot for me to learn.
Obey.
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obey what He asked us to do.
Right. And just completely, spending time with God. And I used to think that it was such a chore to read my Bible and to spend time with God and stuff. And now I love it.
It's sweet moments.
It is. It's so sweet. And I just get another word every time I read my Bible. And it has really changed my life. I mean, the accident changed my life. But it also changed my relationship with God.
Wow.
Because I know how desperately I need Him all the time, at all moments.
To even breathe.
The times where I am desperate and I'm like, oh God, I need God. Now it's like, I need God 24/7.
Wow. Wow. Well, I tell you, I would tell you every day if I could, but what an inspiration you've been to me. And every day, like God will just bring you up to my heart when I look at Jazzy, or when I look at someone or a situation that's hopeless. And if somebody can't get off their couch, or is depressed, or don't think they can make it through a situation, or if they've lost a child that's, in kindergarten, and they feel angry and they can't get past it, you are my inspiration for them and myself, of course. I think I see the scar on your neck, and it's so beautiful to me seeing that scar, because I know you're going to reach the world. I know God has such a purpose, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be alive. People don't live through that, for one. And living through the accident was just probably a little bit of what you've lived through, of losing a daughter. Right. So I can't wait to see the lives you touch and the hope you bring to people. And I'm honored to call you a friend, and I'm honored for you to come on here and be so vulnerable and share your story, but also share the hope out of a tragedy so bad. and we won't ever forget Lucy Kate. She was beautiful. She is beautiful. It's going to be a good day on the streets of gold one day.
Yeah.
And I know that's where your hope comes from. And I'm just excited. Like you said, I'm excited to see you one day reading to your kids and telling them the story of their sister and other sibling that they had that's in heaven. So I just want to honor you, man. And I know you don't want to take honor and you're humble and you say it's God or whatever. I get that. But it takes obedience. It takes strength to say you're weak. It takes a desperation to say you need someone. And you have to do that first before God can show up. And it's been so beautiful and so evident every day in your life. So is there anything else you want to share to the world or to whoever watching this or anything?
I don't know. I mean, just I've had the days where I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I've had the days where I just want to cry and just know that God is cheering you on.
Yeah.
God is. I remember when I was in the hospital and I did not want to go do therapy and I did not want to go do that kind of stuff. And I remember, I can't remember if it was Caleb or if it was my mom or I think it was my mom. She said, just remember, whenever you think you can't do it, and when it's really hard, that you have a little cheerleader in heaven. And not only do we have a cheerleader in heaven, but we have God in heaven cheering us on, rooting for us to get through the day, to get through whatever you're going through. And if you just lean on Him, He will get you through it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Cheering us on. I told you her story was amazing. It's life-changing. It's life-changing for her. It's life-changing for her family. It's life-changing for me to hear it, to walk through it, to see her in the hospital. Went and visited her. Just everything about her inspires me that I can walk through anything, although I would rather not. But the Bible says we will have troubles in this world, and sometimes troubles come in tragedies. And I don't know what is a bigger tragedy than this for a young mom. So thank y'all for watching. If y'all need anything, comment below, reach out to her, reach out to me, whatever you need. But I hope this has filled you with hope, because we're not glorifying any sadness or anything. We just want her story out there, but we also want people to know that without God, we don't know how you can get through anything. So be encouraged. Thanks for joining us in love and memory of Lucy Kate. We love y'all.